All right, everybody's in your seat. I will call this meeting, a special meeting of the Lee County Board of Commissioners to order on this Wednesday, March 14, 2007. The clock says it's a little bit after 4 p.m. And we are met today in the special meeting to consider actually three items that have been advertised as per general statute. Our first order of business will be the invocation. I've asked Mr. Hall if he would deliver the invocation. Let us stand.
May we bow our heads. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you this afternoon with thanksgiving and praise for your guidance and care in bringing us safely and successfully through the winter season. We seek your continued guidance and care for the coming spring season with its beauty and change, so that all our efforts may be in keeping with your holy will and may be pleasing and acceptable to you. Protect and guide all persons who hold positions of authority in our country. May their leadership help us to settle our differences and enable us to be an effective instrument to establish peace in our world. We ask a special blessing upon the members of our armed forces. Help them to serve honorably and with justifiable pride, and hasten the day when they may return home to their families. And please, our Father, forgive our many sins, strengthen our faith, and make us faithful sons and daughters and effective disciples for you. These things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have a letter, a revised letter that you had just received when you came to this meeting. Has everyone read that revision of the original letter? The only change, really, and the county manager and I have been in consultation today about these changes. One is changing the title from administrative assistant to administrative consultant. And the other is the last sentence of the second paragraph. The Board of Commissioners shall repeal Section 6, which concerning outside activities of the employment agreement dated June 30, 2004. This is part of his contract in hiring. Section 6 A says the manager shall not engage in teaching, consulting, counseling, or other non-county connected business without the prior approval of the Board of Commissioners. Mr. Smitterman's letter indicates that he will be under our employ until April the 24th. And the repeal of this revision will enable him to start his new job, if he desires to do so, before the April 24th date. Is that correct, Mr. Smitterman?
Yes, sir.
So what is your pleasure on accepting this letter?
Mr. Chair, I would ask that for further clarification on Section 6, since the administrative consulting would be for the board of commissioners, so the only one receiving benefit from this change would be Mr. Smitherman.
Well, I understand in our conversation that he will be available 24 24/7 by telephone if we need him. Is that correct?
I guess my question is if, why continue this until April 24th? Are we bound by a contract?
Well, that completes the 3 months' notice that he gave to begin with. The 3 months expires April 24th.
And I guess I'm wondering then why he's not continuing as county manager until that time.
Well, in conversations that we've had, we have agreed to what is stated in this letter. I have agreed to it, however, it's up to the board concerning their acceptance. I was not speaking for the board.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this letter as it's written.
And that is the revised letter
Yes, sir.
of the March 12th, 2007, and this revision is dated March the 14th, which is today. Any further discussion?
This removal or repeal of section six is, you made this request.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And he and I discussed.
All right.
Ready to vote?
Mr. Boyle could this be effective today with everything, or we do have to, we are committed to pay through the April 24th timeframe?
In accordance with his present contract, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it was my understanding that that date was tied in with some vacation time or whatever. Is that a correct understanding, or?
So this would run as an employee through that period.
But I'm thinking the April 24th time, instead of being like April 30th or whatever, was because there was accrued vacation or something in here, or?
Well, I think that was the 90-day notice required by the contract.
Well, as a reminder, how about refreshing my memory, because when the subject was broached, I thought I understood or partially recall it being that we worked through March 31st, and from April 1 to 24th, we'll be on leave, or what was it?
That was the original.
That's what I'm asking about.
Yeah,
That's
that was
what I'm
the
asking.
original, yes, sir.
Okay.
That he would work through March 31st and then be on vacation.
Okay. And now, we're simply effective today, I guess it is, if this is approved, we effectively become an administrative consultant, sort of on call from today through April 24th.
April 24th.
Yeah, through the
Yes.
24th. And the one additional difference would be, you'd also be available to seek other employment during this period of time.
Yes. Is that correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you're ready to vote, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of accepting this revised letter and agreeing with the circumstances set forth in the letter, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries 4-3. You got it, Andy?
Mr. Reeves,
see, we need to make it official, to change his title to administrative consultant. That's item 2 of your, agenda. I hear a motion that we do that.
I move that we do that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. So ordered, unanimous vote. Item number 3 is consider appointment of an interim county manager. What's the pleasure of the board?
Can that be a two-phase, or how would you do that? Have Mr. Cole do the supervision of the daily work, or
Co-managers.
co-managers, yes. Have Mr. Cole do the administrative side as far as the daily work that goes on, and have Ms. Minner share that with her experience with the finance, on the finance side of it.
Okay, I'm going to ask Mr. Hall to read General Statute 153A-84, which concerns interim county manager. You have that, Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir. 3A-84 is entitled Interim County Manager. Whenever the position of county manager is vacant, the Board of Commissioners shall designate a qualified person to exercise the powers and perform the duties of manager until the vacancy is filled. The board may designate the chairman or some other member as interim manager. For the interim, the chairman or member shall become a full-time county official, and the board may increase his salary pursuant to GS 153A-28.
And that general statute, Mr. Lamont, I believe is in the singular. I don't know about the code.
Is that something that could be done, Mr. Hall? You know, have,
I assume so, but I don't know of any that have that.
Is it your understanding, Mr. Hall, that the statute requires us to move to install an interim manager? That's not an option that the board has, whether it wants a manager or not. I heard what you read, I'm asking.
Yeah, that we should name someone. They say having selected the county manager form of government when it's vacant, then it's your obligation to fill the vacancy.
Now, as far as finances go, Lisa signs off on money spent, does she not?
Along with the county manager.
Okay, so how, I'm asking Mr. Lamont, how would you envision her duties changing? I'm just curious about that.
well, she has a knowledge of everything that goes on in every department, all the funding and everything. And whoever the interim manager is would be, working with her.
More precisely, would be totally dependent upon her.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is budget time. Finance and
Right.
budget go hand in hand.
Right.
And that is the most appropriate person within the staff to become a county manager. The operations part of it can continue to be run by the assistant county manager. But as far as going out and hiring somebody, I'm dead set against that. All you're gonna do is bring in another party who doesn't know any more than the next person that you go outside and get. So it should be an internal field. It should be the finance manager, whom I felt should have been the assistant manager all along, because that's where our backbone is, in finance. When you don't know or don't have the right people in finance, and you have trouble ruling. And I think we got one of the best in the nation. So that's where my vote will go. And I would so
Now, if
move.
she were to become the manager, the interim, who would take over her responsibilities? Who would be the one that would serve in her capacity right now as the person that the manager goes to for advice? Who would that be?
She probably look in the mirror, I guess. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think she would have to relinquish her duties. I don't know that maybe I don't feel the way that some of you feel. I think this
I don't think
body,
anybody's saying anything. We're
I'm trying to finish why
excuse me.
I'm taking the position I am. I'm of the opinion that our staff can pretty much run this operation on their own. We're talking about a temporary condition, we're not talking about permanent. I don't offer my vote of support for county manager permanent, it's interim. And I would like to further state that if there's anyone that we're all going to be looking for in the next 90 to 120 days, will be Ms. Miller.
Okay. I agree with that to some extent, but I'm just curious too about any kind of position changes. Would that be decided by her, by herself if she was in that capacity?
This board can decide that if that's what it wants to do. You can relinquish that duty, or it can come to this board. I would be of this opinion. I would be of this opinion. I'm not voting for that, I can tell you that now. I would be of this opinion, that if we got into hiring matters, and if she got to a point where she needed advice, we have a personnel director, we have assistant county manager, we have a county attorney, we have a complete board of 7 people. I think there's enough knowledge here to make decisions on who we're going to hire. More importantly, if this board chooses, as I said on Monday to the chair, we should freeze all positions until such time that they're absolute, except for the tax office. I think that there is need to get that area straightened out. Outside of that, I would move to freeze all, especially during this period of time. I don't know what we really are on the budget right now.
I think there's someone that comes to mind for me that I think probably knows our budget process as well as anybody, and understands the situation we have going on with the schools, and I think would be available, on a short-term basis, and that's the former chairman of this commission, Herb Hanks. And I think he would be a good person to come in here and do what we need to have done for the next couple of months.
Well, as Mr. Reeves has stated, the next 60, 90, 120 days are going to be tough. And whoever is in the position as interim manager is going to have decisions to make and be able to stand behind them. So we need a strong person. Or persons.
I think with the situations we have going on internally, we have to have somebody internal to handle our finances. I know Mr. Hanks is, I'm sure, probably capable of doing it, but.
Well, he's no more capable than the current chair that
Yeah,
we're looking at.
but the thing is, you have a lot of water under the bridge that has happened since he's been here. And I don't know that, it's just like hiring somebody, you gotta ramp somebody else up for that position. I don't see where that would.
I don't think there'd be very much ramping up to do, quite honestly, but, that's just a suggestion. I think it puts a lot of pressure on somebody who's already there, and I'm just not comfortable, with adding that on, but I'm but one voice.
We're in a form of a motion.
Excuse me.
Why don't you make a motion?
For us to consider the possibility of.
Have you even asked him? Or
I've talked to him. And I think it would, he'd do it for a nominal fee. And I think there are some advantages to having him act in that capacity.
What?
Like, he understands the budget really well, and he understands the situation going on with the schools. And I think that the decisions that he would have to make would be easier than having somebody who's in an interim position to have to make.
And
Well, I
you-
think we're all aware of everything that's going on in the schools, and it's just like, Mr. Reeves alluded to just a moment ago, that Mr. Brown could easily serve as that, interim position for a short period of time. However, knowing his background and everything of working with the county as many years as he has, he would have the support of every department head, and especially the finance officer.
I make a motion that we, talk to Mr. Haynes, see if he's interested in this position first of all.
Well, Dean, just say you talked with him and he was interested. What would the follow-up be for?
This was a while back that I had talked with him, so I want to make sure that would still be willing to serve.
How far back could it be? This just happened. How far back
This was shortly after Mr. Smitherman had submitted his resignation.
Well, let me assure you that I will not be voting for that, and there are a couple of reasons. Some of the things that we're dealing with right now was when he was chair, and should have been taken care of, and we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now.
I think that's a strong statement to make. Obviously, I wasn't here before that, so.
I think that's quite true.
Mr. Chairman, I believe you got a motion on the floor.
All right, any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor that the board consult with Mr. Hinks concerning the interim county manager position? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say no.
No.
Motion is 5-3.
5-3?
I mean, 5-2. I can't count.
Get the number.
I was getting this all.
All right, count them in there.
Yeah. So that motion fails. So we're back where we started from.
I will move to reappoint Ms. Lisa Mena as the interim manager.
It's good.
Well, we have an assistant manager right now, and we know that Lisa is involved all the time with all the department heads and is an integral part of certainly everyday life, but certainly even more important this time of year. And, I feel like if we put Kenny in that position, then Lisa's going to be able to do her job, and Kenny is going to be able to go to her and work with her. And then you've got that dual system set up where, really it's just the title. Lisa's still going to do her job and have those responsibilities. That doesn't change, but it's more about what Jerry suggested in having the code. But if the reverse is true, I'm just not sure that there's that balance there. I know Kenny interfaces with the different department heads a lot. I know Lisa does. But it's a structure we've already got in place, and to me, if we were going to choose one, I would put Kenny as the manager, and have Lisa remain in her position. Not to say that I don't admire her work. She does a great job for the county.
So your concern is merely that she would be burdened with other work that she wouldn't be able to do
Right.
financial.
Right.
So Commissioner
Well-
Reeves, do I understand that when you want to freeze, that the fire marshal position we have open right now would be frozen?
We can't take action on that in this meeting.
But I'm asking him, is he suggesting that that be postponed until we get a permanent manager and that person will hire? That's my question.
Or the board. The answer is yes, or the board.
But we can't act on that today.
I think she just asked
In
a
other words,
question.
the duties of this interim manager would not be to hire him.
That's my question.
Yes. I thought I was making myself pretty clear. I was simply saying that Ms. Menta is the most likely person because she's the most familiar person with all department heads and their budgets. This is what is important, should be important to all the members of this board at this particular time. We're talking about 90 to 120 days. This is really where you get down to the business at hand. And that is deciding what our budget is going to be over the next fiscal year. The most likely person to do that is going to be the finance manager. It is the person who is going to have the most direct contact and understand what monies are there and where there might be some fat, if any. And I personally think that this board has done a wonderful job in the past in keeping it very, very lean. I really do. But if anybody's going to know whether anybody's financial bodies, it's going to be the finance director. I don't see that being any different than allowing Mr. Cole, the assistant manager, to continue doing the operations part of this job. And if he has any concerns, he goes to Ms. Miller, he can go to Mr. Hall, he can come to this board, which I would advise Ms. Miller to do as well, if she were appointed to that position. I think, in essence, it all falls to this board for right now. We've just cut a deal that, to me, takes most of what we had in place out of play. We now have to become the conscience of this county and this board and the staff. And that's what I'm willing to do. That's my position on it.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we add a recommendation of Kenny Cole as the interim manager.
You want to make an amendment to Mr. Reed's motion? He made
Well, if
a
we're
motion.
making nominations, I'm going to nominate him. I'm not sure if we need to vote on each one separately, but I mean, I know we will in the end, but I'm putting that name out there.
Well, we got two motions on the floor. One is for Ms. Minner and the other one is for Mr. Cole.
I want to accept the amendment and just allow it to be a nomination amendment, a nomination motion.
And you agreed with her?
I'm not agreeing with her. I'm just going to say to you that we have two names for consideration, as opposed to having two motions on the floor.
Right.
We'll just simply have one motion with two names, and we'll vote on each. That's all I'm saying.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of Mr. Reed's motion for
Ms.
Minner.
Minner. Yeah, let's use that.
Ms. Minner being the interim manager, say aye. All opposed, say no. No. Vote by voice. Mr. Reeves?
Aye.
Lamont?
Aye.
No. No.
And I vote no. So Ms. Minner will be the interim manager. Be no further business. There is one other item too that goes into this interim period, and that is the authorization of the person to sign checks with Ms. Minner. And it's been considered that the chairman assume that responsibility until a permanent manager is appointed.
That takes place.
All right, so I hear a motion that we do that.
I do.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. So ordered. Consider a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say no. So ordered.